When I was a son, you closed with the factories, broke things to fix them. You grew a moustache, wore unemployed clothes, caged your world in a shed. That black leg Easter, you wept. Thatcher glided in a Daimler like spit on Union coats. In the blue asbestos sleet, you groaned with embroidered steel, hocking slush in shiny basins. The Christmas Nissan cancelled. You wrapped the road in fumes, tore through sleet with a grimace. I was your son a long time ago, when I raced to the gate to your Kawasaki Symphony. Childhood was an itchy caravan on a site full of white folk wrestling with windbreakers. Childhood was a magic trick. It vanished with the work sometime in the 80s. That day, I ran into blackthorns. You plucked them out like feathers. The plume of your pipe calmed me. The little things destroy us. Anchors to childhood are heavy. Sometimes they drown us. So, I am still your son. You were once my dad. We live in the death of each other. Thanks. This is called Logo. In the twice murdered park, they cordoned off frost. Diggers stabbed the paddling pool. In hypodermic dew, tarmac clung to a seesaw. A robin blooded the bough. Come April, where blossom used to fall, we'll drink cappuccino, get caught in moments like carrier bags on bus-level trees. Come April, we can queue outside Primark. I'll buy me a new me on the playground I discovered myself. Come March, I shall walk to the swings, push the seat where fathers made childhoods and gob the way Darren did. Come March, I'll peel paint from the carousel, reveal the name of a lay teacher who necked wine and a teenage tongue. Come March, sky is a logo.
Her single brushstroke flickers like a candle flame, expands sometimes, so she fills the whole canvas. Subject, foreground, background, frame. Then it shrinks back into a solitary dot. Oil textures expressively, but its shine is heavy, movement thick and sticky. She should have chosen aquarelle, perhaps. Water has little colour, except the tones it reflects. Sea mimics sky. But it isn't the colour or lack of colours which appeals to her. It is the painting's silence. Friends joke that her self-portrait is lean. Call it minimalist. The therapist suggests she had a stroke a day. She doesn't tell him that she tries, but every night someone washes it clean.
We're filled with facts and filled with dread. A million tall stories run round in our heads. We measure by number all that we see. Our family, our loved ones and our enemies. Let's sing out, never no more. Sing out, never no more. To pillage the earth, we're taught it's our fate. For forests of old, it's already too late. We enslave the poor with unquenchable taste. The things we consume then discarded in haste. Let's sing out, never no more. Sing out, never no more. From childhood it's hidden that man can still dream. Go forth, we all shout, to that wage slave machine. But as long as we laugh, can dance and can sing, our shackles and chains to an end we can bring. Let's sing out, never no more. Sing out, never no more. So here in our minds, we each face a test. To once and for all lay our shackles to rest. Let's sing out together before the bell tolls. Share freedom forever in our freedom songs. Let's sing out, never no more. Sing out, never no more. Thank you.
Blood sprays upon clouds, pulsing dance, life bestowed, floods fill split bark. Orange blossom bliss, marmalade sticky cascade, torn souls, tears, drip glass. Crisp zest carves the nose, blinding litany attracts the buzz. powder bombs hit the day. Bloated eye, green feast, so blind wishes it were blind, unleash envious beast. Bolted blue, chained sun, eggshell sky, crackbone dry. Sleepy moon peeps through. Purple-lined box, indigo, in you all go. Velvet cossets the frame. A violent, violet soul, racked guilt, shatters out loud, cleaves tonight's shroud.
Everyone faces it, some more than others. And the first person who teaches us to cope with it is our mothers. We've all been there. Everybody knows what it feels like not knowing or where what it feels like not knowing where you are or where you're going. It's like a 1,000-piece jigsaw with no frame of reference. It's starting to feel like a 10-year prison sentence. You see people overcome their difficulties in a manner of ways. Some people ignore it, and some count down the days. Some people hide it in their own little haze, and some people get frustrated and worked up in their own little craze. Some people set fires, their own little blaze, but I guess some people just can't handle those days. Some people think it over and over again, and some people just cut themselves just to feel the pain. I said, again, wrong. But I bet sometimes you're the one who feels insane. But with all these people reacting in different ways, I'm surprised humanity can get along most days. But it's what unites us, and even as I read, I'm probably shaking more than I can believe. But honestly, shaking is progress, and I'd rather not bleed. But honestly, all I can concede is that maybe there's a problem with the way it's perceived. But adversity is a problem, its very own disease. You know what? Fuck it. Can I have some help, please?
Look up. They don't look up in this city anymore. Up there's where the trouble started, where the burning bones came from, the splinters of fire, the drowned breath of bereavement. But that was old before death was, and still they fear it. Even their granddaughters don't look up. Let's look up. There's another city in the canopy. Hotels of hope and brave tower blocks, aspirational IKEA. Well, it is round here. This isn't Birmingham, you know. They pulled all the blue from the sky. We can see it every day now. No need to look up. But if you look up, there's the spires. See, the roads aren't the only way out of the city. The saints are up there, stained and waiting, air ghosts. And peregrines, they lift tiny lives in pigeons to their exalted nest like angels, like bombs. Look up, and there's a plaque for rude heroes and a gilded Godiva. Look up, an ancient and haunted kebab shop. Look up, a space where an elephant once was. Look up if you can. History holds down your eyes, but still you can. Look up.
Heroes. It's good to have heroes. Self-selected mentors, real mongers, look them up. They stand a mile high, sharp, cut astride through purple silk, princes, poets, phallic priests, rich reasons to aspire. Problems? Problems with what you see? Well, it's in your head. Mine is full of what I'm going to do. Got no time to explain your problems. Jealous guy. It's all in the receptors. The fidelity fact checkers don't lie. But she said behind my green eyes, I bundled impulse monsters beneath the streets. I said she didn't understand great art and she would die like Desdemona. Vodka moonlight. Drink in the vodka moonlight. Reflections ebb and flow, crest and fall. Waves pull to scattered pebbles. Watercoloured, shadow gloss. Impressions evaporate. The sun can't see them. Not the sparkle diamonds. Local boy. Rock like you always have, because you'll roll as you're bound to do. It may be unwritten, but rebels settle in the end, either to a marriage bred or drugging grave. Families knit a template life, cut your fate and pin your place, sew you into the hem of familiar streets until you fray into a selfless blanket patch. And still the opportunities stand the corners, jeering temptations away from here. You swear and curse in your rain straps, binding unconfidence into a fixed relief. Guilt rides its Lambretta over uneven worked cobbles, mirror stack rutting a million teenage breaths. Headlight reflecting through jealous terraced windows, picking out the grease on antimacassars, spilling out into brushed yards along the alleyways that disappear into the starlight. One day soon, someone will walk on the moon. but you'll make sure it ain't you.
Merhaba, teşekkürler, seni seviyorum. I thought these were the only Turkish words that I needed to know. Merhaba. I didn't use this word when we met. I remember seeing you. Maybe I just smiled as you arrived from across the river, summoned by a friend. Teşekkürler for the nights we spent together, for helping me to shop and carrying home the food you later cooked for me, for the photos I have of you sitting on the sofa, looking through my phrase book. I remember how hard you tried to find the words to tell me things, to try to explain. Seni seviyorum. You used these words in a message to me. I replied, I know this one. I love you. Were you happy, taking this literally, as if I was repeating your words back to you? I know there is a word for goodbye, but you never used it in any language that I could understand. Looking back, I remember the things that pointed to your leaving. You wanted us to get drunk, and so we drank together. I was drinking pina coladas more than ever before. You had a beer and another and another. I lost count, just paid each bill as it came. You gave me a rose, and with no money, you must have promised to pay the flower seller another day. That night, despite my efforts, I didn't get drunk, only you. Trying to care for you, listening to you in pain, and trying to comfort you, I got close to loving you. In the morning, I gave you a pill to take away the pain in your head, and 20 lira when you asked for 10. Later, there was a phone call from an unknown number in a noisy bar. It was left unanswered. It could have been you wanting to say goodbye in Turkish words I couldn't translate. And carrying on, this is Days of Nights. My text read, I will remember this holiday as a days of nights filled by pina coladas and my days filled with loneliness. Nothing really changes, though the weather is hotter and the days are longer than in England, where without cocktails the days and nights are both the same. I'm not sure that alcohol changes me. One night I drink too much, another night too little. I don't know if I drink to remember or drink to forget. In any case, the morning comes quickly, and once again, I'm lonely. So when the evening comes around, I order more. Şerefe, cheers.
Thatcher's children, bastard breed, feign compassion, worship greed, fleece the nation, sell the seed, reward the rich beyond all need, squander what's been long built up, create more poor while fat cats sup, flog all assets for short-term gain, when bubbles burst, pass down the pain. Cameron, Osborne, Blair as well, let them join her down in hell. So then in a lighter vein, I did The Continuing Adventures of Mrs. T. Her cold iron shell soon melts in flame, her essence sinks to hell's domain. There Satan sits, once so alone, at last a woman to share his throne. No wallflower she takes command, imposes change upon that land, for only she, fresh from her hearse, could alter hell and make it worse. Dan, you've got to love this one. Unfortunately, I can't do the great lady's voice, so you'll have to put up with my little version. This probably owes a smidgen, the tiniest smidgen, to John Milton. The Continuing Adventures of Mrs. T continued. Mrs. T's now in command. Satan sits at her right hand. She's running hell on private lines. Sinners toil, pay hefty fines. Investors rush to share the boom. New pits are dug to make more room. Banished souls have no redress, and demons earn huge bonuses. But Mrs. T's not satisfied. She's still outraged that she has died and gone downstairs instead of up. One night she yells, "I've had enough! Those lazy sods in heaven above witter on of joy and love. Come on, demons, let's give 'em what for. Go get our task force ready for war." Satan wavers. "Do you think it's wise?" Mrs. T with scorn replies, "Satan, please don't be so wet. Hell against heaven, it's a surefire bet. I beat the Arges, this'll be a breeze. We'll soon have heaven down on its knees. We're going to win, that's an end to it. God's a wimp, I bet he's frit." So off went the demons in a mighty force, fought with the angels and lost, of course. Thrown back down to the depths of hell, causing shares to drop as well. Thatcher raged and gnashed her teeth, blamed all the others for her defeat. "You bloody lot, just whinge and moan. In future I'll do it all on my own." Now even Satan had had enough. He boiled with rage and called her bluff. "Mrs. T, you're a pest and a curse. All you've done is make things worse. Stubborn, wrong-headed, obtuse as well. You obnoxious woman, you're a stain on hell." And he cast her down in the deepest pit, and she wallows there still like a pig in shit.
You said, "This is my true face, that I will never hide from you. That cannot be hidden. Only made secret by false self-consciousness. If you stare at the mask in the mirror long enough, you can begin to believe anything about yourself, and to disbelieve in any existence not made clear to philosophers or held in the mind waves of group identity. And so you seem lost. But you are never lost to me, even when I seem lost to you. And we are never apart, nor have we ever been apart, nor can we, nor do you need to long for union. Our love had no genesis, only the constant delight of rediscovery, in the daily cognition of its fire, which is the soul. And we are not two people dancing, not two voices singing, but a soaring rhapsody, polyphonic dimensionality, 1,000 wood anemones on the woodland floor, trembling to the raptures of the spring wind.
I remind you of your fear. You watched me, tore me from my roots. You ripped me from my home and the jaws of death. A reluctant prize, a memento for your warrior's pride, vanity eating away at you. Your smile cuts out, bears the boar's tusk, and as I look up at you from your clutching, grizzled, bitten, now shaking hand, I remind you of your fear. Okay.
That at this time of year, some young people go out in the woods to gather nuts. I don't think they're gathering nuts. Oh, when you first show your face to us and shine out o'er the plain, when you've chased all the mist from the hills in the east, 'tis then that I'll shake off the dew, fall and rise, sing my love to you in the morning. When the last of the night folk has returned to her house, and the screech owl dozes her hunting all done. When the first breeze of day brings the scent of the May, 'tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, saying my love to you in the morning. When the blackbirds and thrushes, the robins and wrens have serenaded us through the twilight times, when the skylark has risen to sing over the fields, 'tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, sing my love to you in the morning. When the vixen has taken to doze in your light, and the bushes all rustle with the sound of your wings, when the hares have assembled to dance and to fight, 'tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, bring my love to you in the morning. And when the first warmth has entered the stone, and the adder has come to bask in its glow, when the cuckoo has cried out from the thicket below, 'tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, bring my love to you in the morning. I'll arise and awaken, you'll laugh and embrace. I'll stamp and I'll sing by the edge of the wood. Sweet water and flowers to your bower I'll bring. 'Tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, sing my love to you in the morning. 'Tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, bring my love to you in the morning. 'Tis then that I'll shake off the dew fall and rise, sing my love to you in the morning. Thank you.